Welcome to Cas Cooks History National Dishes Edition, where each episode I pick a country at random and attempt to cook the national dish from scratch. Today, my randomiser is taking me to Egypt. 110 million people, 95% of whom live along a single river. They gave us the pyramids, Cleopatra, the 365-day calendar, Mo Salah, and the world's first recorded peace treaty. The ancient Egyptians invented the world's first prosthetic limb, a wooden toe, and their national dish is a bowl of rice, lentils, pasta, and chickpeas piled together and drowned in sauce. It's called Koshari, and on paper, it doesn't really make sense. So, let's make it. This is a very layered plate of food, so let's go a layer at a time and prep the toppings before we move on to the base. Let's start with crispy fried onion, so that we can use the leftover oil infused with all that lovely onion flavour in the rest of the dish. We'll need 3 onions, some flavour-neutral oil, I'm using vegetable, and some cornstarch. You can either slice them as fine as you can, or if you own one, just use a mandolin, but watch those fingertips. Once it's all sliced, season with salt and toss with 2 tablespoons of cornstarch. Get a large pan or skillet, add in the oil. I ended up needing about 2 cups since it's quite a large pan. Heat the oil up and carefully add in the onions, and on a low to medium heat, let that go for around 15 minutes. You want it out when it starts turning slightly brown. Don't let it go too long, as it will continue to cook once you take it out. And when it starts looking sort of like this, fish it all out with an appropriate utensil and let it relax on a bed of kitchen roll. Then immediately season with some more sea salt and have a mandatory taste. And tell me, honestly, is that not one of the best garnishes for almost anything? Also, make sure to save that leftover oil as it's full of flavour. Okay, time for the tomato base sauce. Add 2 tablespoons of that reserved oil to a saucepan, followed by 2 cloves of crushed garlic, and cook that until the garlic starts changing colour. Then go in with 1 tablespoon of tomato paste, let it cook for a bit, go in with 1 cup of passata and 2 tablespoons of vinegar and stir to combine. Then go in with all the seasoning, that's 1 teaspoon each of sugar, ground cumin and ground coriander, and then salt and pepper to taste. Let that come up to a simmer and cook on a low heat for 5 to 10 minutes, after which you can put it to one side. Time to make some shatta, which is pretty much a spicy version of the base.
Spicy.
Add a tablespoon of that onion oil into a saucepan, followed by a teaspoon of chili flakes, 1 tablespoon of chili powder, and 3 cloves of crushed garlic. Let that cook for a bit, then go in with 2 tablespoons of tomato puree, a 1/4 cup of the tomato sauce from earlier, a 1/4 teaspoon of ground cumin, and some water if it looks too thick. And we're done. Some spicy tomato sauce, or shatta. So koshari is basically a dish that shouldn't really exist. The name comes from koshari, an Indian rice and lentil dish, which made its way to Egypt during British colonial rule in the late 1800s. Italian immigrants then threw pasta and tomato sauce into the mix, and Egyptians added the crispy onions, the da, and the shatta, and turned the whole thing into street food. So you've got Indian, Italian, and Egyptian influences crammed into one bowl, and somehow it works. The second sauce we're making is da, I don't know. And it's a garlicky vinegar sort of vibe. Add 2 tablespoons of, you guessed it, that onion-infused oil to a saucepan, followed by 6 crushed cloves of garlic, and let that cook for a few minutes before adding in 1/2 cup of distilled vinegar and 1/2 cup of water, followed by 1 tablespoon of cumin and 1 tablespoon of lime juice. If it's too tangy for you, adjust it with a little bit of water. And after all that, we can finally move on to cooking the main event, the koshari. For that, you'll need a can of drained and rinsed chickpeas, 1/2 cup of vermicelli pasta, 1/2 cup of elbow macaroni pasta, 1/2 cup of rinsed short grain rice, I'm using basmati rice as a substitute, 1/2 cup of that onion oil, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, 2 teaspoons of ground coriander, and 1/2 cup of black lentils soaked in hot water for about an hour. And off to the stove we go. Just FYI, I'm boiling the macaroni as per the packet instructions in the background. Get a large lidded pot, add in the oil, let that heat up, and then fry the vermicelli until it starts going a dark brown colour. The earliest written record of Koshari in English comes from 1853. Explorer Richard Burton, not the actor, the Victorian one, wrote about it in his book Journey to Egypt and the Hijaz, describing it as the breakfast of the people of Suez. Back then, it was just lentils, rice, butter, onions, and pickled lemons. No pasta, no tomato sauce, and no crispy onions. The Suez Canal hadn't even been built yet. Go in with the rice, coat it in all that oil, and add the lentils, ground coriander, cumin, and some salt. Cover that with around 2 cups of water, just enough to cover the rice, then let it come up to a boil, cover, and cook on a low heat for around 10 minutes. Then turn that heat off and let it steam for a further 5 minutes. And at last, it should look something a little bit like this. If you ever go to Cairo, there's a place called Abu Tarek. A guy named Youssef Zaki, who started selling koshari from a streetcar at 13 years old after his dad died, no permit, used to hide the cart from the police, eventually talked his way into buying a coffee shop on Champollion Street with a down payment and monthly installments. That one cart is now a multi-story restaurant. Koshari is the only thing on the menu, and it's rated as one of the most legendary restaurants in the world. Just Koshari. And we can plate, layer by layer. Start with a nice big base of the koshari, followed by the macaroni pasta, the tomato-based sauce, the chickpeas, and a large helping of the crispy onions. And honestly, it smells and looks amazing. And wow, for some reason, I didn't expect this to be so good. So much flavor. And all that oily, rich rice and pasta is offset so nicely by that very sharp tomato sauce. The crispy onion is just a cherry on top, adding texture and so much flavor. Add in the da and the shatta to some bites, and they complement it so well. The da cuts through the richness with that garlicky vinegar hit, and the shatta just brings the heat without drowning everything out. For what is a vegan dish, this is incredible. In terms of ranking, this is definitely a lot higher than I thought it would be. And whilst maybe not S tier, it's definitely a solid A. If you want to recreate any of the recipes seen in these videos, head over to my website, link in the description. Like and subscribe.